Southeastern Harris County. This one's up until 3:45. This was radar indicated tornado right around Texas 146 to the south of Baytown, moving to the north at around 25 miles an hour. Now, areas that may be impacted by this, put a storm track on it here for you. The area here right near LaPorte, moving off to the north. So areas like Lomax 323, Baytown now up to 334. Cody at 337, McNair at 339, Houston Baytown at 340. So again, moving in that general direction. This is east of the city in southeastern Harris County there. All right, let's move this back up here and show you areas that are going to be around I-10. That area there is going to have a lot of significant wind and also very heavy rain, so it's going to be hard to actually identify where this system is located. Here's a check out. There it is right there. We'll throw it up on here. There we go. We've got that tornado warning here for southeastern Harris County until 3:45. We've got another 23 minutes under the gun in this area headed towards Baytown. Let's look at some other filters on here to see exactly what we could be dealing with. Storm relative velocity. So what exactly we're looking at here is the wind direction. Why that's important is because when the wind direction is shifting directions in a small area, when it's really condensed and consolidated, that's when you get that spin in the atmosphere. The cell itself is starting to rotate and potentially dropping down to the ground. So when you see greens and reds close to each other, I'm not all that impressed with this signature here. It'd need to be a lot more isolated there with greens and reds, but we've got differing wind directions in a small area, so certainly the cell itself is beginning to move around. In terms of a hail threat, not much there. In fact, let's put a slice on this system here to see exactly how tall it's been growing. It's a relatively large-sized thunderstorm cell. Throw that slice onto there. Some of the cloud tops reaching up to 30, 40, 50,000 feet up into the air. And when I move this around, we can a lot of times see if there's any indications of a hail core. And right here, this actually might be some hail. Usually that would turn either a black shade or a white shade, but that would be a hail core. And that's right around the same area that we were talking about the possibility of seeing that hail core or that tornado reaching the ground there. So again, there's another look at exactly the area we're concerned with. Southeastern Harris County until 3:45. A tornado warning is in effect for you. If you are within this area and you're getting that alert on your phone, you're seeing it pop up on TV, go to that interior room of your house away from any windows. This is nothing confirmed on the ground. It is radar indicated. The cell itself is beginning to rotate, and it's moving pretty quickly to the northeast at around 25 miles an hour. Now, let me see if there's been any update here from the National Weather Service, in fact, on this tornado warning. Not seeing much. It's a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located initially near Deer Park, moving north at 20 to 25 miles an hour. So at this point in time, that was at 3:14. So that's about 10 minutes ago. So it's covered a good amount of ground by that point in time. But you can see here, let's pull this up and see where that is going. There we go. Pull up radar here and zoom in on that tornado warning in southeastern Harris County, Baytown area. The cell itself, here, let's put it in motion here over the last 30 minutes. It is covering a good amount of ground. At this time, heading towards I-10. It's not actually encompassing I-10 yet, that warning polygon, that tornado warning polygon, but it is moving pretty quickly in that general direction there. Of course, plenty of rainfall associated with this as well. In this whole entire area, we've seen 1 to 2 inch an hour rainfall rate, so that's making visibility greatly reduced if you are traveling in this area. Of course, I-10, a major interstate, this heading exactly for that. Still got another 20 minutes in terms of this warning time. It's up until 3:45. Here's a look at that warning from the National Weather Service right here, that tornado warning until 3:45, 20 minutes from now. The area of concern we've been watching is this storm relative velocities. If you're just tuning in, velocities are wind speeds. Which direction they're moving is necessary to know in this general situation, because if they're moving in different directions close by of one another, that indicates rotation in the cell itself. We're seeing reds and we're seeing greens here. In most instances, you don't want to see that. But if it's really consolidated and really circular in nature, that gives us an indication of a presence of a spinning of a tornado potentially reaching the ground. I don't really see evidence of this in this general area here. It's more spread out and dispersed over a larger area, so that's some good news there, but certainly still some gusty winds. We can plot some wind speeds on this indicated by radar, and it's really not showing a lot, just 15, 20, 30 miles an hour. You also have to keep in mind that this radar beam is shooting up at an angle, at elevation. So it is picking up winds higher up aloft. And even those numbers are not particularly unbelievable, to be honest with you. They don't look all that terrible. But nonetheless, there is a tornado warning up for this area, and we're going to continue to watch it for you here. Bigger picture, there's a lot going on now. Things have really kind of gotten a little more active over the last hour or so. We had talked about the threat of there being severe weather. And for the most part today, it's been very, very quiet. But mostly east of I-45 has been dealing with a very heavy rain. And now all the severe threats are in your area as well. And this is the area that's been seeing that plume of moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. And that in turn has been driving our severe chances. We've got the winds kicking in onshore. And this has led to this cell, the severe thunderstorm, rotating, prompting a tornado warning from the National Weather Service up until 3:45 this afternoon. It's moving quite quickly, moving almost due north-northeast at 20 to 25 miles an hour. I'll get another check here from the Weather Service if there's anything that's changed with that. And it looks like, let's see here, for tornado warning, southeastern Polk. Okay, that's the other one that's earlier. We had a severe thunderstorm warning north of this into Liberty and Polk. That is set to expire in just a couple of minutes. But our biggest concern, of course, is the tornado warning cell that currently is affecting southeastern Harris County for about another 15 to 20 minutes until 3:45 this afternoon. Now, plenty of lightning, very heavy rainfall also associated with this. And we've been watching for the potential of some sort of indication that this is reaching the ground. Right now, it's just radar indicated. Our radar is looking at exactly this, seeing wind direction shifting over a small area, reds and greens next to each other. That prompted that cell to start rotating, and if it consolidates, drops to the ground as a funnel cloud and eventually a tornado, that would be a ground confirmation. We do not have that right now, and I do not see that from any of the chat groups right now that we're seeing on the ground showing anything that's been touching down as a tornado. So that's the good news there. Reflectivity, rainfall rates with this are blinding. 1 to 2 inch an hour rainfall rates. In fact, let me throw some numbers on here for you. Okay, that's showing 9.3 inches per hour. What that really tells us when they get that high is it may be picking up the indication of some hail. So it's not exactly raining 9 inches per hour. It's likely the instance of some hail in that general area. Baytown area right now, very heavy rain approaching I-10. Let's throw on exactly where that tornado warning is. You see that polygon, that pinkish polygon. It's now lifted pretty much out of the LaPorte area. The area over here is where we're really going to be concerned watching this. Right around here, just to the east of Deer Park, south of Worcester. It's now heading into that northern portion of that warning polygon headed towards Worcester and Cody. And eventually on the northernmost fringe of this is I-10. The Highlands area over there, plenty of lightning. Let me throw off the lightning here so you can see it better. Near Baytown. Baytown itself, not actually in that polygon yet, maybe the southern portions of it. But as you head north on Texas 146, you're just outside of it. Worcester area, Lynchburg, Cody, you're on the northern periphery of this warning polygon there. But it is heading in your general direction within the next 15 minutes. It's moving at a pretty good clip here at around 25 miles an hour. Here's the latest info on it for you from the National Weather Service. We've got another 15 minutes of this warning, and the updated information on it is it is still moving 20 to 25 miles an hour off to the north. And they said it's capable of producing a tornado. This is just radar indicated, so we've got nothing confirmed on the ground. But of course, flying debris, we're likely still seeing some gusty winds. In fact, let's revisit the wind potential here with our velocities. This is showing us radar indicated wind direction and speed. So our radar beam is right here in Dickinson near League City. So we're shooting up to that. So we're pretty low to the ground with the radar beam at this point. So it's a pretty good calculation of what the winds may be at the surface. And I'm really not seeing signatures here of excessively strong winds, which is obviously a good thing. Let's put some numbers on it here for you to give you a general feel of what the winds may be. I mean, we're getting 25 miles an hour, nothing to 27, so maybe up to 30 miles an hour. Maybe we're approaching some areas of getting severe threshold wind gusts 55 miles an hour or something like that. But for the time being, it doesn't look too terrible in that general area. But nonetheless, want to remind you what to do in a tornado warning. If you are under this polygon, you're getting the alerts on your phone, you're seeing the alerts on TV, you're watching right now, and you're in this polygon. Get to the lowest level of your building or home. Again, not many areas have basements around here, so interior, away from windows, in a bathroom, in the bathtub. The winds are kicking up outside. Turn the TV all the way up and run to your safe place and stay away from those windows and doors. It's fast moving, 20 to 25 miles an hour, so it should be in and out relatively quickly. And again, we aren't seeing any instance or any ground confirmation of this being on the ground and actually a tornado. It's just radar indicated in this area right now. We're going to likely get an update here as the cell itself is moving out of its warned polygon. This area right here, you're starting to kind of see the moisture wrap around it, and that could be an indication that it's taking in some inflow and moving around in that direction there. So we're watching around 146 just to the south of Worcester and to the southeast of Baytown. This is now heading into the northern portion of this warning polygon. We'll get an update here probably within the next minute or so on whether either they're going to discontinue this tornado warning or extend it, possibly encompassing I-10 and KHOU over to Baytown, Highlands maybe, and even over towards Eldon as well. So this is watching it as it unfolds. Let's look at the wind speeds again across the area here. We'll pull up the palettes, show you velocities. This is exactly what we've been looking at here. Now, this is a little bit interesting. Starting to see it. So this is the area just south of Worcester, getting the greens to be a little bit more intense in wind speed and getting the reds wrapping around it. So that could be an instance there of the center of the circulation of this rotating severe thunderstorm cell moving near the Worcester area right now. This is literally on the northern fringe of that watch or that warning polygon there. Throw up a different instance of this. Okay, not seeing too much. Let's see what the wind speeds are in this particular area near KHOU. We're getting 37, 22, 49 miles an hour. So again, getting closer to severe thunderstorm wind gusts in these areas. So wind gusts 53. So certainly a very windy scenario playing out for the Worcester area at the current time as this tornado warned cell moves over your area. Is it consolidating into a funnel cloud and eventually a tornado? Nothing confirmed on the ground right now. It is a radar indicated, which is the good news in all of this. But let's blow this out and show you the bigger picture, because it's not just this tornado warning. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning north that's still for portions of Liberty, and this one is moving off to the east rather quickly. This has been persistent, so flooding, flash flooding could be an issue in that area. Plenty of lightning and thunder, and then of course our our tornado warned cell to the south of Channelview, Highlands, south of I-10 right now. Let's see if we've got an update from the Weather Service right now. Not seeing anything that would change its outlook on it. Nope, it's still going to be up until 3:45 this afternoon, so 10 more minutes. But you can see from this imagery here that the cell itself is now mostly outside of the tornado warning. The polygon here stretches up to the fringes of Baytown, and this is the area we're watching for potentially some rotation or tornadic activity that prompted the tornado warning. Again, throwing up the storm relative velocities or the wind speeds and wind direction. Most of the gusty wind is going to be outside of that tornado warning now near the KHOU area. Yeah, radar's picking up 65 mile an hour winds here south of I-10. In fact, right along I-10, probably getting those winds gusty as well, up and over 45 miles an hour. So those areas there are certainly going to be under the gun soon. I would see the Weather Service extending this, at least a severe thunderstorm warning, up and over I-10 within the next couple of minutes to encompass those very gusty winds moving over the interstate there, and travelers going to be under the gun. So the center of this cell, yep, it does look like now that they have discontinued. Let me get confirmation of that. Yeah, I no longer see. Let's pull up. Nope, it is still up, and we actually have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning now on the north side of Houston, or north side of Harris County, that encompasses Hawthorne Place. Brand new. Let's see when this one is up until. Severe thunderstorm warning here until 4 p.m. And the verbiage on this from the Weather Service is that tornado is possible within this cell as well, with winds gusting to 60 miles an hour. This one is also moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. So we're getting a general feel of the movement of all these cells at 20 to 25 to the east-northeast, keeping in line with the general trend of where these cells have been moving. They've been moving quite quickly from south to north all morning long. So again, if you're just joining, brand new severe thunderstorm warning in northern Harris County, north side of downtown Houston, until 4 o'clock for 60-mile-an-hour winds. The potential of going over to see some hail there as well. I don't see that in terms of our hail tracker, and I do see a little bit of a hail indication here over north of Baytown. That could potentially be up to ½ an inch in diameter in terms of hail. But let's get a check again on the tornado warning that's still up for another 10 minutes or so. Again, the polygon that's been issued for the initial tornado warning, you can see the cell itself is now almost completely outside of that warning polygon. So areas that are going to need to watch this a little bit more are those along I-10, Cody, Highlands, Mount Bellevue, right along the I-10 corridor, because that cell is lifting over you right now. And as I showed you just a minute ago, the strongest of the winds are also now located along the interstate there. In fact, let's go back over to Storm Relative, because we were tracking the greens and reds. Okay, it looks like the tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire at 3:45, and a severe thunderstorm warning does replace it off to the north of there. So this is the area we're watching for that spin. And if you've been watching here for the last 5 minutes, this is a little bit more consolidated. So that means that the spinning is getting itself a little bit more together and isolating itself a little bit more. That's going to be something to watch there, but that is a good news. If you are tuning in that tornado warning, this will be allowed to expire at 3:45, and it will be replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning to the north of it. And it's not alone. We've got two other severe thunderstorm warnings, one to the north of the city, and one in Liberty, one in northern Harris County. That will continue until 4 o'clock. This tornado warning will be allowed to expire in about 5 minutes. We're going to continue our coverage online and on our digital platforms, but for now, we'll send you back over to the game on CBS Sports.
Academy Award nominees Sam Elliott, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. 1883, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. Well, the backcourt is back. Lamont Butler from a broken wrist, Trey Pulliam from COVID protocol. However, Trey Pulliam already has 2 fouls, the primary point guard. How does that change things?
Well, it's going to be interesting if they slide Butler into that spot to handle the basketball a little bit. Keep in mind, they usually have Adam Seiko, who's not